goes. So welcome again after 2 weeks in the super interesting episodes that we had, Lead and Sell. And I'm super glad today because I have a good friend of mine here, an author of the book, Money You Can Trust, Mr. Nicola Domanin. So that's the book, Money You Can Trust. Nicola, welcome in our show, Lead and Sell, with me and Maria. How are you?
Hello.
I'm really well. I'm really well. Thank you for asking. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. It's a really great opportunity to be here. And I really thank you again for the opportunity.
I'm also very happy because I bought your book and I read your book and I really loved your book. And the reason why I loved your book is that I could identify myself with the struggles, your ideas, your points of view. So it was a book for real life and real people. What is money you can trust? So can we trust money, first of all?
So it depends whose money, first of all. I think money you can trust is basically your money. Your money is the only money you can trust. No one else, I think, will take care of your money as much as you will eventually. And it's a really, Money You Can Trust is a book about taking control of your finances. A lot of people just delegate the finances to somebody else, maybe people that they cannot trust, maybe people that will take advantage of their finances, really. And so the book is not about delegating to other people, and I can't stress this enough. Really, taking control of your finances can really improve your life stability, and it's not as difficult as people think sometimes. It just takes some actions and just some perspective, I think. And this is the only book that someone maybe without money, without knowledge, someone that starts from zero, starts from scratch, or is young, or really at any point in their life, they can just read this book and have a starting point so they can really pivot towards what they think is really best for them at that point in their life. And I think this is one book of its kind, because a lot of books are not going to be books that you can relate to. Maybe you've read many books, obviously, and some of them are going to be from superstars, mega millionaires, and they're going to just make it they're going to make it easy, and others are just going to be out of reach from your perspective, from your position in life. And I think my book is unique in that standpoint because you can just relate to it, because I'm very similar to the position of the reader.
So, yes, and that is exactly what I loved in your book, because the advice of super billionaires and this advice of I started from I was listening to this person, Mr. What is the name? The Cardone, Grant Cardone. So he said he went undercover. He even put a mask and he started like with no connections, nothing. And within, I don't know, 1 month or 6 months, he was able to generate again millions. And all this thing is being presented like it's if that was the case, everybody would be a millionaire. Or things like that happen in America, and in Europe maybe they are not so easy to apply. But what I wanted to ask you, Nicola, is I don't trust money at all, because let's say you have a little bit of money, right?
Okay.
And I put my money in the bank here in Spain. The government has access to my money. Or I can put it in a foreign bank. I can put it in a bank which is based in another country. How do I know if tomorrow this bank closes, my money is gone? What can I do? Or if I keep the money safe in my safe box, then again it loses its value. So in 10 years, the 5,000 euro is going to be, I don't know, 2,000 euro.
Yes.
So I don't trust money at all.
Yes. Well, it's who you trust your money to. Because a lot of people just decide not to give money to anyone and not to do anything with the money they have. And I think that nowadays, maybe some years ago, it could still be okay because banks were paying a dividend on the money that you kept as deposits. So they would give you maybe 1%, 2%, 3%. but they started decreasing and decreasing year after year, and now they're paying maybe
negative sometimes
0.1. So they really pay very, very little, 0.001% a year or 0.001. I don't remember exactly the number, but the thing is, they really pay very little money for what you put in, and it's just decreasing in value because honestly, the inflation is rising at such a higher rate. And so if the inflation is rising at 3% a year and you're making 0.1, you're losing 2.9% of the value of the money just by keeping it in the bank. And that's what people don't understand. Really, inflation is eating up the value of your money as you go. If something costed maybe you could buy, let's just make an example, you could buy 2 pieces of equipment for 1,000 years, maybe 20 years ago. Nowadays, at the same rate of inflation, it's been around 5% a year. Today, you could buy just one with the same amount of money. So it's really decreasing the potential that the money has to purchase over time. So even just keeping the money safe at the bank and not doing anything with them, you're still losing them. You're still losing them over time. So I think people should be more aware of this because inflation is not a good thing. And they sell it like if it was a good thing, but it really isn't.
Well, not for people like us, clearly.
Not for people like us anyway, yes, because rich people, it's good for people that own assets. Let's just clarify that. It's not good for everyone. It's good for just a little percentage of people, because what inflation does, it basically, it is I'm not going to go into very, very detail, but it is a consequence of the increase of the money that is in the economy. So if there is more money in the economy, eventually, let's say that your money is going to be worth less because it's going to take more money to buy the same thing. And if you own assets and if you pay attention, for example, to the rents or to the property prices, they keep increasing. Also, even the assets like stocks, they keep increasing in price. But it's not just because the company is worth more. Like 10 years ago, if you wanted to buy the last model of iPhone, it was maybe 600, 700 euros. Right now, it's 1,500, and it's going to keep increasing. But not just because the products are better per se, but because the cost of the materials also increases as well. So by increasing the amount of money in circulation, you increase how much money is required for acquiring the same things over time. And so this is going to just increase also the amount of rent and the amount of the assets themselves. So if I own apartments, they're going to just go up in time just because of inflation. And that's something people sometimes overlook at.
But it's owning property and owning apartments. So me being Greek, okay, so in Greece, it was like this economic bubble, this economic boost. And there was a time after the Olympic Games where everybody had money and everybody went and they bought property. And in basically almost in a day, when the market crashed, so you bought a house, you paid 300,000 euros to buy the house, which a week later, the house had a value. If you sold it, you would get half of the price, while your debt remained 300,000. I mean, you cannot trust money, but can you trust investments?
Well, some of them certainly, because just by taking your example, you were referring to the financial crisis, possibly 2007. Yes. So what happened is, I'm not also going to explain all the financial crisis. We're going to be here an hour. Yes. But basically, what happened is that banks were relying on investments, and they were very bad investments. They were just packaged as good ones. And so there were these companies that were giving the rating to the properties, and they were really bad properties, and they just put them at AAA, and they just repackaged them and resold them. And so all the banks own these toxic assets. But if you look back and you actually owned a property during 2006, 2007, and you just bought it at the peak of the market, and you looked at the trend, yes, eventually the market just keeps going up and down because that's the market trend. But if you pay close enough attention, you will notice that even though the market went up and you bought at the top of the market, at the top of the bubble, just before it was about to burst, and you kept the same property for about 10, 15 years, the property just surpassed the amount of money you would have purchased it for. right now, properties cost more than when they costed at the top of the bubble. And that's because inflation keeps compounding, even though you can just ignore the market condition. Yes, it will go up, it will go down, but over time, inflation will just keep pushing up the value of assets.
So you think like on the long term, buying property is going to be always beneficial? That is what you are saying?
Well, in some cases, it depends on the properties. That's a very specific question to ask. But yes, the right property in the right location with the right cash flow, if managed well, it will certainly going to increase in value. It's gonna continue to appreciate if you know what you're doing. But you have to know what you're doing. You cannot simply buy a property in an area that it's not rentable and just hope, cross your fingers that one day it will appreciate in value. It might, but it also might not.
Okay, so yes, please, Maria.
Right. I have a question, Nicola, because you're very young. What age are you?
I'm 25.
So you're 25 years old, but you've already had quite a story behind you, your personal life. Could you share it a little bit with us to tell us what made you get interested in all this?
Okay, so I want to tell you about first maybe my physical experience. Let's say from where I come from. Yeah, I'm the son of two farmers. It couldn't be anything more relatable to that, right? And I graduated in IT and programming languages. I worked at very different industries. Let's say I worked in manufacturing industries. I worked for big travel corporations like Expedia. I worked for the real estate management companies. So I was actually managing some real estate in Canada and United States. I worked from trading companies. So I was selling basically trading accounts, contract for differences, they are called. And I was selling a lot. The main experience I got was from sales. I've done over 5 years of sales in my life. And that's the one I pursued the most, basically. But what I learned from sales really comes in handy in different situations in life, because if you just notice and you pay attention, everyone around you is a salesperson. Right now, I'm trying to sell you my idea to buy my book, right? And when you speak to your husband, you're going to try to sell him to take out the garbage. I don't know. Anything, anyone is a salesperson at any time during their life. And you just have to be keen about what people are trying to sell you on. But continuing about my life, I also have some emotional experiences, because I've always been motivated to strive for better outcomes, for improving my life for the better. And, I had quite a few challenges myself. As I indicated also in the book, I was conditioned negatively by my surroundings and my environment. Initially, my parents went broke. They went bankrupt. So, not a good thing. I had, when I was about 19, 20, a sort of a drug addiction to weed. I was hanging out with the wrong people, with the wrong friends, if you want to call them that. I was scammed multiple times. If that wasn't enough, I also had an impact on my health. I broke my tendon. I lost my job for years because I couldn't work. I couldn't actually do any manual labor. So I lost my job for about a year. And, when problems arise, you just resort to a power within you. You just have to find a motivation to continue. And I found it, because then it just pushed me over the limit, beyond the limit. I had to do something about my life. I had to do something about my situation. I couldn't find a job in Italy. What did I do? I took my stuff, I left, I went to Czech Republic, and I found a job in 1 month. I found it in 3 days, but I started working later, so I'm just going to say 1 month. And so problems will keep coming after you, and you just have to find a solution, because that wasn't the last of the problems I had. Just 2 years ago, they diagnosed me with stage 4 cancer. And this was 3 years ago. I spent 2 years doing therapies. I did 8 months, 8 months, a bit more, of chemotherapy cycles. And then cancer came back. So you have to continue working. At that time, I just barely started this book. I started it in that period. And I looking back, I really don't understand the power, the focus that I had to write a book while I was going through this. It's really mind-boggling to me right now. And about a year ago, 10 months ago to be precise, I did the transplant, the bone marrow transplant, and I've been clean ever since. So,
yes. So nice. You've been very resilient, and you have quite a lot of grit, it seems, because you've kept moving on. You didn't let that stop you.
Yes, definitely. Then there are also some other things, because what I told you is just my experience in the maybe work industry, but I've also tried a lot of things myself. So I traveled to different countries. I went to Dubai for a conference, and I was speaking next to Spencer Lodge. So I went on to speak as a speaker after him, and he's a multimillionaire right now. He has a channel where he does introductions like this, but he speaks with people like Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone. So he has tens of thousands of people that watch his channel. So he's a big entrepreneur. I of course, tried multiple businesses before I wrote my book. So my experience doesn't come from thin air, you know. I also tried to create something. I tried different business models. I worked for multi-level marketing companies. I invested in multi-level marketing companies. I created multiple websites. I created e-commerces. And for different shop owners and also for myself, I tried businesses like drop shipping. I tried affiliate marketing. I tried Amazon publishing, of course. And then, you know, I tried also advertising, marketing on different platforms, Instagram, Facebook. I invested in multiple cryptocurrencies, altcoins, stocks, and I'm also a proud real estate investor. So I've also had my share of investments. Yes.
Wow, you've been busy. You're 25, and you've been busier than I've been at your age. I can tell you.
That is amazing. But what I like most from everything that you said is that you embrace the challenge, and you embrace also failing on things. And that is what a lot of people don't understand. So they are afraid. They say, "No, I'm not ready to do that. Don't do this. Maybe, I mean, go ahead and do it. And if it fails, I mean, who cares? I mean, there is no other way to learn. How else you gonna learn? Because same as you, I did many business in my life. Only few were successful. The rest was unsuccessful. That's the truth.
I think that, you know, a lot of people have been conditioned to be a slave of their circumstances, but yet they have to understand the circumstances don't necessarily control you. And I'm kind of living proof of that, right?
Yes.
You can look at all kinds of problems. Some people will have the same problems I've had. Some people will have other problems. Everyone has problems in their life, but you cannot just keep focusing on that, because really there is no way out. You just have to find something to maybe live for, if that's how you want to put it, and just work hard. And you have to focus. You don't have to let circumstances control you. You have to control circumstances that control the outcome of your life. Absolutely.
So regarding money you can trust. So let me tell you what I did very recently, and let me know your honest opinion. So I will not be offended if you tell me that it's completely wrong. So I start experimenting on trading online, and with my simple investing mind, I thought, okay, let's do this. Since artificial intelligence is such a big trend, let's find out which are the main artificial intelligence companies. So I found NVIDIA, okay? And I bought a stock of NVIDIA for something like $280. That was like a month and a half ago, and now the price is $400 something. So within a month,
investment.
That's amazing, right? And I mean, it wasn't a big investment plan behind. It was just luck. But I think, what do you think if somebody goes now on a trading platform and he searches and sees which technologies are going to increase the next years? So, for example, artificial intelligence, for example, augmented reality, and other technologies, robotics, and invest in these companies with an horizon of 5 years. How difficult it is not to make money?
Well, that's a tricky question, because you're touching a very broad subject. But to give you an answer to that, basically, if you want to look at stocks, it's something. If you want to look at the investments in technology companies, it's fine. I think that the move you did, okay, it was smart enough if you had enough information about it. But a lot of people...
I had not. That is the thing. I just used common sense, and my horizon was
common sense. But sometimes common sense isn't enough in these cases, because the stock market is very complicated, and there is millions and millions of things that influence what a stock is going to do, because the value of a stock is an individual purchase. Basically, each individual person that owns the stock and buys the stock or sells the stock is setting the price at any given moment of that stock. So there is billions of intangible variables that basically at any single moment they influence what the price is going to be. If tomorrow Elon Musk tweets that Nvidia shit, sorry for the word, it's going to collapse. You're going to lose all your money, right?
Of course.
How can you predict that? How can you know that? So that's also the risk about stocks. They're very unpredictable. You cannot know the outcome. And that's why I've been, I'm not going to call myself a critic of stocks, but you have to be very keen as stocks, as some kind of investment. What you can do to protect yourself from market fluctuation when you're investing in stocks is to buy stocks that produce cash flow, because cash flow can keep giving you a payout no matter if the price of the stock keeps going up or keeps going down. If not, and you just buy a stock because you're gambling on it, well, then you're just being lucky. You're just trying to be lucky. You're just hoping that the price will go up and that it will not go down. But really, because the variables are so many and you cannot simply calculate, there is no way to calculate them. You simply cannot predict where the price is going to go tomorrow or what's going to happen to the stock. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend, if you don't have a lot of information on it, to try it. But certainly, if you do want to try it, stocks that produce cash flow are maybe one of the best, because they're going to keep paying out dividends every 3-4 months. And so you can still keep making money without having to hope that the price will go up and it will not go down. Regarding the technology that you spoke about, yes, certainly technologies that are going to be big hits soon are going to be the metaverse, 100%. Even though it's been very criticized, even though the company Facebook metaverse almost failed, it's still going to be a huge thing. If you just think about the possibilities of the metaverse in the future, think about, for example, real estate, right? And for example, right now, if you want to buy an apartment and you want to look for it, you're going to go look at it. You're going to call the realtor. You're going to say, hey, I'm interested in the property. You're going to go to the property and you're going to visit it. You set an appointment. Then you go, you have a look at it. But imagine that one day, just by sitting at your home, you can enter into the virtual reality and you can simply scout throughout the city just by wearing goggles and seeing a property with your own eyes without having to leave your living room. How much time that saves. But not only that, it can automate a lot of things like the stock market. It can automate so many things. Really, AI, really metaverse is the future. But a lot of things, the way it's used now, it's a bit of a waste of time. Just by looking at NFTs, right? The non-fungible tokens.
Yes.
The one that is so now, they're really useless, right? Because who needs a picture of a monkey? That they really, actually, they sold pictures of stones for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that doesn't make any sense at all, because it's never going to be used for anything other than trying to sell it to other people to try to make a profit off of it. But if you look at the NFT, the non-fungible token structure, the way it's made, it will one day actually replace the physical contracts that you can use in any day. So stocks one day will be NFTs. You will buy an NFT. You will not buy a stock. And same for apartments, maybe. You will not anymore have a paper contract, because it actually happened over a year ago, I think, in Ukraine. It was the first example of this. They actually turned the contract of a property into an NFT, a digital collectible, which online can verify and prove, and there is basically a proof online at any time of the ownership of the asset. And so you can sell your asset online to anybody, anywhere in the world in just a matter of seconds. And this has been proven. This has been done already a year ago in Ukraine. And it's just an example of how extraordinary and how forward thinking this technology really is. And yes, I think it's going to change the future for the better. But the way it's being used now, it doesn't use its full potential yet.
So through your experience, Nicola, what would you advise somebody that it's not very familiar with all these technologies, but he has some saved money? What would be your advice to him to have money that he can trust?
So okay. Alex wants to know what to do with his savings.
Exactly.
So really, what you want to do is, first of all, read the book. No,
yes, the book.
I think that you need to get interested in understanding what you really want to do. Because if I was to give you an advice right now on what to do with your money, I could never be sure enough that you would follow through with what I'm telling you. You really need to find your way to make money. You really need to find your own path, because right now I have ideas of how to create a company. I'm going to start a company soon, probably in the next 2 or 3 years. And if I told you what this company is about, maybe some wouldn't tell you. Some would ask you to basically sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, so that you don't speak, so that you don't steal the ideas. I don't believe in that, because this is my idea. So even if I told you what it is, it's very unlikely that you believe in this idea strongly enough that you will try and bring it to success. You just don't have the same motivation, the same concentration that I have. And the same goes for Alex. If Alex has a business and he teaches me how to do this business, unless he's there all the way telling me what to do and teaching me every day and doing basically everything for me, I'm not going to be motivated enough to do the same thing he does. And the same thing goes for you, and the same thing goes for everyone else. So really, it's to get informed. If you have money, do not trust them. Do not entrust your money to somebody else. Do not say, I have this money, I don't know what to do with it, because people that take advantage of you in that case. Do not buy courses, I would tell you, because courses really, they're of two kinds. There is the big guru course, which is, as we said, the multimillionaire that makes it look easy, but really they don't tell you how complicated it really is. And they just make it look like, I started my career making 4,000 a month selling, or I started speaking at seminars with rooms full of people, or I started buying apartments worth millions of dollars. Nobody starts out like that. People like me, they really don't. You buy a course like that, you're not going to feel comfortable.
But I believe, Nicola, that in order to be successful, you need to know something that other people don't know.
Yes.
And if you go to a webinar or seminar with a guru and there are like 2,000 people in the audience that they are going to apply exactly what he says, then what is your advantage? You don't have any advantage. You take something that everybody knows.
But they make money selling those courses, by the way.
Yeah, they make it.
Like telling people, if they had everything, they wouldn't need to do these courses. So they're making money selling those courses.
And I think you wrote that also in your book. I read it in some point that when you are investing in the stock market and you see that everybody's investing. I remember in the days prior to the crisis, in Greece, everybody, every carpenter, every taxi driver, he owned stocks and he was gambling. I mean, if that's so widespread, then expect the collapse to come in some days or hours, I would say. I mean, it was frightening, really.
You really have to be careful about what is mainstream these days, because you cannot trust what other people are doing. And also, if I'm doing something regarding a business, it's going to be my idea. It's difficult for you to replicate, but there is an ease of access to the stock market, which allows really anyone to open an account and just go trade. And that's sort of a problem, because even though you don't know what you're doing, you can open an account in 3 minutes and start trading. And that's insane to me, because you don't have any idea what you're doing. How can they allow you to expose all of your money to the financial markets when they know very well they're just going to take a commission from you, and they're not going to teach you how to do it. Or if they want to do it for you, then they're going to take hefty fees, because hedge funds and mutual funds, they take very big fees for managing your money, but they don't put any of their money at risk. They put yours. And
Yes.
if you fail and in case you lose your money, then bad for you. I, the manager or the owner of this fund, I'm still making money because I'm still managing it, whether the price is going down or whether the price is going up. Whether you make money or not, I don't care. I've already made my money. And I don't think that's a very good business model. If you want to trade for other people, you should put your money on the line, not other people's. Or at least you should put other people's, but yours as well.
Yeah, or you should only make money if you make money, right? You shouldn't. There's no reason why you should get money if you're not making any.
Yes, exactly.
There's not many other businesses where people are paid whatever the results.
Exactly. Yes. It's
But
insane.
I think what they win, those guys, are this ambiguity of information. I mean, there is no way. That's also absolute, but it's very difficult to really know how to invest, I think. And it's being presented like it's something easy, and it is not.
Well, you need to do your research, right? That's what you're saying, Nicola. It's like you need to do your homework. You have to do your research. You have to find several sources of information and then find what works for you, right? What you feel comfortable doing.
Yes, absolutely. I think number one, this book is about how not to lose your money. Do not lose your money is the first rule in business investing. You cannot entrust your money in something you don't understand. You cannot invest in things you don't understand. You cannot entrust your money to somebody else, because no one will take care of your money more than you will. And so all these small gurus that you see, well, they simply sell courses that don't make any money. You've seen millions of them. Courses on drop shipping, courses on drop servicing, courses on Facebook ads, courses on Facebook FBA. How many have you seen, really? They don't even make money by doing what they're saying. They sell the course, and that's how they make money.
Yes.
So
yeah, they wouldn't need to sell courses if they were making all that money.
You make so much money, you don't just spend all of your time selling courses. You would just do what you know what to do, right? You would just make
and what is, I think, common sense for somebody is like how all these people are so concerned about teaching strangers how to make money. I mean, that is something you don't face in the real world. You just face
you wouldn't believe companies, legal companies I worked for, were in the business of stealing from the clients. We're not in the business of doing the clients any good. And this is companies that work in the trading industry. So that's why when you say, I want to trade stocks, an alarm bell goes off. You know, they don't have your best interests at heart. They just have their own pockets.
It's like the casino, huh? It's the only person that wins is the casino, huh?
They always win. Yes.
Yes, I feel like it's like a Betfair or a betting platform, or
Also same thing. It's the same. Did you know, by the way, that trading companies have the same regulations? They have to obtain the same certification as casinos. They have the same certification, and people just need to understand this. There is no quick and easy way to get rich. If you want to get rich quick and easy, there is no way. You have to do research, you have to work hard, and you have to commit to something. You have to commit daily to something if you want to reach something. I didn't write this book in a day. I didn't say, well, today I wake up and just going to write it, and then I wrote it. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of patience. And it took a lot of withstanding the problems that I had, because if I simply said, well, I'm just going to concentrate on my health, I'm going to go into a spiral of depression, I would have never finished this book. And these fake gurus, they sell false promises. If they guarantee returns, I've seen so many that guarantee returns. You can stay assured, rest assured, you're not going to make any money, because I don't think it's legal, actually. To guarantee a return of 20, 30%. That's insane to think about in today's market. If you want to learn business, there is no need to buy a course. You can find things online for free. There is so many coaches that teach what you want to learn. You just have to find your way and just look online. There is so many people. You want to learn real estate? there is Chris Krohn, there is Stefan Graham, there is Grant Cardone. There is so many people. You wanna learn personal finances. There is Tony Robbins. There are so many people. You cannot believe how many videos there are online. I think if you had 1 billion years to consume all the business content and there is on YouTube, you wouldn't have enough time. You wouldn't have enough time.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's everything for everybody. You just have to get focused. You have to get convinced, and you have to find your own way. That's it. You cannot entrust your money to nobody else.
So thank you, Nicola. It was amazing having you with us here. So I want to say to everybody that is watching our live stream, so the book is called Money You Can Trust. It's a fantastic book. It's from Nicola, and you can go on Amazon, put like Money You Can Trust, and you can have it within some days in your home. So Maria, do you want to say something?
Would you like me to say something in particular? No, I thought this was really an interesting conversation, Nicola. Thank you. I find you very wise for your age.
Yeah,
and I find like you have quite a life already. And
people don't think of that when they see me. They're like, "Oh, this guy's young; he doesn't know anything." But then they're 30, 35 years old coming to me for advice, and I give them advice, and they're like, "Nah." And then 2 years later, they come back to me and they're like, "You know what? You were right. I don't know."
You started young, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what else you're going to do in the future, because wow,
yes.
What's coming next?
Yes, be prepared.
We are waiting for the next
YouTube channel, and
so where can we follow you? Where can we find you, Nicola? Because I found your book on Amazon, but where can I find you?
You can find me on YouTube. I have my own channel. I started it 3 years ago, before all this thing about health issues started. So I couldn't, because I was bold. I wasn't very confident, self-looking. I still kept working on my stuff, but I've stopped the channel for a while. And now I think this is a good time to restart putting content online and really trying to help people finding their way through this financial mess that is nowadays, and all this misinformation that's online. So yes, buy my book or find me online. You can find me on YouTube.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicola. Thank you for being with us. So thank you, everybody. We're going to be back in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.